of our trip in California, we were staying at a Buddhist retreat outside of Santa Cruz. I came across this location when I was frantically looking for campsites and trying to find places that were still open. When I was looking at a map, I saw the Land of Medicine Buddha pop up, and when I looked into it, I found out that you can actually stay on the grounds, and I was so happy to see that they have yurts up on the mountain that you can reserve to stay in overnight. As soon as we pulled into Land of Medicine Buddha, I was impressed by the grounds. The first thing that you see is this enormous prayer wheel next to a huge redwood tree. And then as you come over to the bookstore, there are all of these little nooks and shrines all over the place. So we checked in at the bookstore and we were given the key to our yurt, and we were told to take our stuff and we had to kind of carry it and hike up to the area where the yurts were. They tell you before you get there to make sure that if you're staying in the yurt, because it's a little farther away from the main campus, you have to get there when it's still light out, and we kind of figured out why. It is a bit of a walk, especially carrying your stuff, to go all the way to the back of the property where the yurts are. The yurts are to the right. We go this way. Are you videoing me videoing you? Yeah. We're very efficient. You know what? I like the skylight because you kind of wake up slowly. Like a little bit of light comes in and you start to wake up. It's like a slow alarm clock. I like it. Keep that in mind for when we build our yurt. So what is the first thing that we do when we get somewhere? We make coffee. Patrick is already in the kitchen over there getting his afternoon coffee ready. Especially because it was such a far walk to get up here. There's a full little kitchen area on one side, and then bathrooms are on the other side, and each of the bathrooms has a tub and a shower. I'm actually surprised. I didn't think we were going to have this little cooking area. Small kitchen, coffee maker, dishes. Oh, I found a Patrick. Coffee. See, and they even supplied us with organic coffee, which I was not expecting. We brought our folding cups. I have to say, one of the best things that we got for this trip are these collapsible coffee cups. We've used them many times. Sink, microwave, even a fridge and a freezer. And then a crock pot and dishes over there. Pretty good. And there's our yurt. Yurt number 3. We walk over to the other side of the building. I'll show you the bathrooms. Are back here. It's really tucked into the redwoods. Oh, there's the bathroom. We weren't sure if there were going to be showers. Thank goodness there are showers. We took some time to look at the map of the property to decide where we wanted to go and explore first. We ended up going up to the top of the hill to the wish-fulfilling temple. This is an absolutely beautiful temple with a huge Buddha statue inside. The outside is covered in these paintings that were meticulously done by hand. You need a key to get into this that you can sign out at the bookstore. And then we went down to the main garden at the center of the property, which is a nice area to sit and contemplate. The statue is even lit up at night if you want to go over and sit.
Couldn't get the door open.
The next morning we headed out of Land of Medicine Buddha and decided to go into town. We were right by Santa Cruz and we had heard a lot about the boardwalk and the beach over here, so we headed over to check it out. Now this was a little bit more familiar to us. Since we live right by the Jersey Shore, we get to go to the boardwalk and see the rides pretty regularly, so we didn't spend too much time here because it was something that we're pretty used to. It's actually higher than I thought. Patrick doesn't like heights?
Yeah.
Do you?
What, heights?
Yeah.
I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
I'm kind of used to these because, like...
It's probably a bad time to ask you that.
Yeah. I'm kind of used to these because snowboarding all the time.
Yeah.
We used to ride with this thing up.
Whoa, no. On a mission to get Patrick cotton candy. Walk out on there. After we had our fill of the boardwalk and the rides, we headed over to Natural Bridges State Park. This is about 15 minutes away from Santa Cruz. It's a beach with a rock formation in the shape of a bridge. And there actually used to be two of them here. The other bridge that was on the left collapsed. When we got back to Land of Medicine Buddha, we headed down to the pool area where, unfortunately, the hot tub was being renovated, so we couldn't go in there. But they also had a sauna, and we are always happy to go and enjoy a sauna, especially when we can't get a hot tub. On Sunday morning, I went up to the temple for the morning meditation, and then I walked over to the 8 Verses trail. This is a walking trail that has different verses for sitting and contemplating. And at the entrance to the trail, they are building a very large stupa. The 8 Verses trail has several areas where there is a quote posted for you to read and a bench for you to sit on and contemplate what is written there, with different pieces of philosophy and wisdom from the Buddhist tradition. You'll find many offerings on these posts, like rocks and shells, and here somebody left an orange. After finishing the 8 Verses trail, I went to the end of the trail where the main meditation garden is, with several prayer wheels and statues. There's a gong and a bell. Today's our last full day in California. We fly out at 8 a.m. tomorrow. And we checked out the Land of Medicine Buddha this morning. It was definitely a different place to stay, different from anywhere that I've ever been. I actually really enjoyed staying in the Yurt. The Yurt was pretty neat. And this morning, since it was Sunday, they do an open community meditation at the main temple up at the top of the hill. So we got to go up to that, and it was led by one of the monks that is a resident at the temple. So that was pretty neat. Different experience. We didn't get to eat there, just because we had to try to get the meals 24 hours ahead. So we didn't get to see what the food was like, but I was really pretty impressed with the grounds, the hiking trails, the 8 verse trail where you can walk around, and they have benches for contemplation so that you can read the verse and then sit and think about it for a while. Really nice, kind of tucked back into the redwoods. So now we're on our way to the hotel that's right by the airport because we have to be up super early, and then we're just going to finish packing everything back into the suitcase, which is always hard, and then going to bed early so we can catch our flight tomorrow. Here's our room for the last day. I'm actually pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
And a beautiful view of the freeway. And we got these ice cream ball things. We're not sure what they are at Whole Foods. They don't have them at our Whole Foods. So we're gonna have to see what that's about. And the bathroom looks pretty nice too. So, last night in California, it'll do. Today is the not very glamorous end to our camping trip, which we call the repack, where we try to fit all the camping gear back into the suitcase, which took us about, 8 weeks to pack completely, and now we have to try and do it in like an hour and get it to weigh less than 55 pounds, or 50 pounds. It looks something like this. Parking lot next to the freeway, all of our stuff everywhere. This is one of the new things that I got for the trip that lets you empty your fuel canister for your camp stove so that you can punch a hole in it and actually recycle it. Once we had gotten all of the camping gear packed back into the suitcase successfully, We went back into the hotel room and we spent the rest of the night on petfinder.com looking at dogs that were up for adoption, because we knew that as soon as we got home from this trip, our next goal was going to be to adopt a new dog.
Airport, sir.
Yep, airport.